Whew. This has been a long time coming. Just a shout out to Harris Pilton, who I've just subscribed to. Great channel. He's got a lot of stuff I like. Goody! Um, yeah, we've just been discussing jury duty. Uh, and here we go. I've been waiting since 4 o'clock to have my breakfast. I've been stuck on Rachel's live stream. It's very fascinating. It tends to go off eventually. I won't name names. Some people get on there and hog the thing, and that's the end of it. Yeah, the breakfast of champions. My salami on toast for breakfast. Yes, the dreaded sandwiches. I'm talking back in the early to mid '90s. Maybe they don't have them at all now, or maybe because of woke and political correctness, everyone. I don't know. Maybe the ham sandwich would offend some people. Anyway, we actually got good selection. They were beautiful, fresh sandwiches, big selection, healthy ones with sprouts and whatever you wanted. But after about 2 weeks of eating them every day, I started bringing in, stuff in my coat just to eat. And the sandwiches, you'd see the sheriff's assistants eyeing, and they go, oh, good, they haven't eaten any sandwiches. So they got their free sandwiches. But I often wonder how many innocent people have been sent to life imprisonment because the jury were actually fighting over who got the ham and pineapple sandwiches instead of talking about the actual case. I wouldn't be surprised. But then again, Australia has a tradition of criminals and courts and people being sent to this godforsaken prison at the end of the bottom of the world. They were probably sent here for stealing sandwiches on jury duty in 1770 or something. But yeah, Sandinista. God, Jesus, I love that album. That if someone came here and said, "Oh, we're going to take all your records away," Sandinista by the Clash would be one I would keep. I never get sick of it ever. I love it so much. I can't stand their albums. I had a few of their other ones, Give 'Em Enough Rope, and just nah. I was never really into the punk. To me, a punk's someone who doesn't even know what politics means. I mean, all this preaching stuff that pisses me off. Joe Strummer was a middle class sport brat. Let's face it. But fair enough. But they had some good singles. I've got Rock the Casbah. The album's that album came off as an atrocious, but Rock the Casbah is great. And also, was it Can I Go Now? I like that too. Mick Jones is the hero in the band to me because he went on the big Audio Dynamite, of course. He was taking them in the right direction. Very, very few white bands could get away with doing punky reggae style stuff. The Clash really did do well on Sandinista. Very, very well indeed. Anyway, getting off topic. Yes. So one more thing regarding the jury duty. I had good moments with that. Now, I worked for a boss called, I better not say his name, but he was a well-known Australian racing car driver back in the 50s. Had his own business. I worked for him. He's a notoriously hard individual to deal with. And when I was first called up for my first jury duty in the early 90s, everyone was so afraid of John, but I wasn't. I knew he was a tough guy. And the minute he said, "Do you want the job?" I said, "Yeah, I want the job, John. But as long as we just say good morning to each other and leave it at that," because I knew he'd be trouble. And I was in demand as a black and white printer in the day. I always got the job. I was really good at it. And I said, "Look, John, if we can just keep it to good morning, John, good morning, David, we'll get along just fine." And I lasted 10 years there. And hundreds of people went through the place. Because he probably fits that definition that they've realised that he was a small s sociopath. But see, I'm a big S sociopath. That's the difference. I can pick one a mile off. Anyway, getting off subject. And this is quite funny. Someone like me who was been in the police cells more than once, not prison, but in the slammer more than once, and been done for drunk driving and all that when I was a wild young bloke in my 30s and teens and 20s and 40s. Oh, and getting off getting track. Yeah, so he would have said, no, he found out about it. He said, no, I'm going to, and that's sort of what, he was so up himself, he thought he could actually fight the Australian government to stop me, a lowly darkroom worker, in his darkroom from appearing on court. Crazy, huh? So the powers that be underneath, like the ones put Hitler in the power, Hitler was nothing, and so was my boss. It was the bastards just underneath that keep these sociopaths in, because it suits them. You know where I'm coming from there? Well, those minions just under the boss thought, we'll get around this one. So what I did is I got two pays for, I think it's 3 weeks. I go in and do my jury duty during the day, and they'd keep John out of the dark room. I just said his name. And some of the photographers would do the occasional prints if they were urgent. But then I would sneak in after hours, do my day's work, and I was pulling in 2 wages at once, and one was tax free. That was I was going, wow, keep this going forever. And jury duty is just like being in Days of Our Lives. This is soap opera. It's Punch and Judy show, mate. Except real people's lives are at risk. And that first jury was pretty good because one day, one of the witnesses, it was a drug case. They were both drug cases, actually. Thank God they weren't child rape or murder. One of the witnesses did a runner. So they let us off for the afternoon. So instead of going back to work and doing, no, it wasn't for the afternoon. They let us off for about 3 hours or something. And I went to the pictures, which was just nearby the courthouse, and saw Dead Man, that Jim Jarmusch's masterpiece with Neil Young's soundtrack. So that was great. So I was quite happy the first time. The second time was no fun at all. And then the third time I was called up, I was desperate to get it because I was unemployed. And I thought, oh my God, great, this is great. And I didn't get called up. Bum. Okay, but so I knew how to work the system already. And just to finish up, I got to eat. Just to finish up, I had a bit of a to-do with the judge on the. I actually can't even remember what the second one was all about. I only went for a week. Another drug case. The first one was really dramatic, like one of the witnesses, they caught her on a train out in this, trying to escape. It's just so funny. It was all over nothing. It was over some drug dealer ripping off another drug dealer. What a waste of the taxpayers' money and time. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I asked the judge what I thought was a pertinent question regarding the accused and his interview in the police cells. I thought it was a good question. I won't say what it was. And he just sort of poo-pooed it down, and I thought, you fucking cunt, you bastard prick. And I won't name his name, but there was a great comedic singer around in the 70s. I've got his EP called John Dowie, so there's a name there. Oh, John was my boss and Dowie was the judge. Oh, what have I said? Oh, no. I'll get sued. John Dowie, he's a very funny guy. Great little EP I got of his, taking the piss out of punk. That's really good stuff. I thought I'd ask him a question. He poo-pooed me off. And then years later, I went, yes, here's Mr. High and Mighty with his white wig and all this shit going, oh, poo-poo. And he got busted for high-range drink driving. That's what they call natural justice. Guilty as charged. Okay. I'm no good. I can't do links, but I'll just write Harris Pilton up there. I really dig his channel, and so should you.